Good morning. It's Thursday, June 16th, and today I want to tell you about how crazy this country is getting. In the town of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which has a population of about 50,000, but in the entire what they call the metropolitan area of Coeur d'Alene, it's about 150,000 people living there. So on Saturday, they were going to have an LBGTQ event, a parade of some kind. Now this is way out in the Northwest. They're based upon looking at the map, Coeur d'Alene, the closest big city to Coeur d'Alene is in Spokane, Washington. It's maybe 30 or 40 miles away if you're going west. So they're having this event, this Pride event, because it's Pride Month and this was a Pride Week and they're having a Pride event. And guess what happens? A group of white nationalists, known as the Patriot Front, decide that they are going to go to this event, this Pride event, and they are going to cause a riot. They are planning to violently disrupt this Pride event. Now why? Why do a group of people who are white nationalists, why do they decide that they want to go to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and cause a violent disruption of a peaceful event? Is it necessary to go there and show your hatred to the rest of the world? That you are white and supreme and better than everybody else, and you are going to disrupt this event out in the middle of nowhere because you disagree with the sexual preferences of a group of people who are law-abiding citizens and not doing anything except celebrating what they consider to be their lifestyle? Is that what we've come to? Where we have little pockets of hatred prepared to violently disrupt a parade, a party of some kind? Luckily, a local resident who was paying attention to his or her surroundings saw this group of men getting into a U-Haul rental truck. They were all dressed alike with white gator-style masks and carrying shields and loading themselves into the truck like a little army. That's what the police chief described. A little army getting into a rental truck. And then, because of that, the police were summoned and they were pulled over. When they were captured, they were not far from the event, which was called Pride in the Park. So the cops got there in plenty of time before these people could start causing a ruckus. I'll call it a ruckus. It probably would have been a lot worse than a ruckus. The police chief said they had no inkling that there was a group of people coming into their town to disrupt this Pride in the Park event. If it hadn't been for one concerned citizen, a horrible event would have taken place. So we have a lesson to be learned by all of us, not only in this small community, but all over this country, that when things are going on, we, the people, should be paying attention. Now, of course, these invaders, I'll call them invaders, were stupid. Because why were they dressed in this gear before they got to their site? You know, you can't run around dressed like a soldier, carrying some kind of weapon around with you, and avoid suspicion. And if you have avoided suspicion, then we know that the community that you went through was not paying attention. But in this particular case, this citizen was paying attention, and these morons were dressed for battle. And this citizen said, "There's something going on here," and called the police. And these people were taken into court. They were arrested. And this is where it gets really, really dumb. They were released on bail. And it wasn't any serious charges really were brought against these people, right? They were brought in on suspicion of plotting a violent disruption to this event. But for some reason, it wasn't viewed that way, so they were let out on bail. Now, why in the world would they have gotten off so quickly on the thing where they had a plan? When the police seized them, they had an operations plan. So the items that were collected from their person made their intentions clear. They were out there to do physical damage to the people who were celebrating. And the mere fact that the police said this level of preparation was not what you see every day. It was clear to them that this was a riotous group. So why? Why did they get let out on bail? And you know what? The participants in this group came from a lot of other states. It wasn't like they were in Idaho, right? This group came from Texas, Colorado, Virginia, and the other states. Now get this also, that since this arrest, the police chief that said he and others in his department have received death threats. So here are the cops doing a wonderful thing by stopping a riot, and now they're receiving death threats. And I assure you those death threats are coming from the same white nationalists that they picked up who were planning to disrupt this Pride event. It's a disgrace that we have a thing like this that goes on in our country, and that there's very little punishment associated with the people who are picked up ready to perpetrate a violent riot. This was a hate crime if there ever was a hate crime. So I don't know why these people were given bail and let out and told to report back to court in a week or so, a couple days here and a couple days there. These people came from all over the country. You think they're going to hang around and show up at those trials for their bail hearings? I doubt it. And this clearly fits into the definition of a hate crime, even though they weren't charged that way. And I know for a fact that hate crimes are rarely charged in comparison to the amount of crimes that are committed. And I leave you with that this morning, disgusted with what happens in this country and how villains get away with murder, so to speak. Bye.